Today I'm going to talk you through some helpful tips for making faces. So when I'm drawing a face, I start with a circle, and then I'm going to imagine that I cut that circle in half and put the bottom half underneath the first circle I made. That's going to show me about how low the chin needs to be. Okay, so then I did sort of a modified diagonal line connecting the sides of that circle to the point that I made for the chin. And if I were to cut that whole head shape in half, that half line is about where the eyes would be. A lot of people, when they're making eyes, will make them towards the top of the head. But if you look in the mirror, you'll see that your eyes are actually more in the center of your skull. Okay, halfway between the eyes and the chin is where I'm going to put the nose. About halfway between the nose and the chin is where I'm going to put the lips. Adding a little bit of detail there. Just a little bit of shading and definition before I keep going. Okay. Now I'm making a neck, but my first attempt at a neck was a little bit too narrow. I want to make an adult person, and for an adult person, you want to line up the neck with the corners of the eyes. But now let's talk about the nose. Noses are tricky, and let's divide the nose into three areas. We have the ball of the nose, which is the point. We have the bridge of the nose, which is kind of the bony part in the middle. And then we have the wings of the nose, which is where our nostrils are. That's what we breathe out of. And the first nose that I made was a very European looking nose. It was very pinched, and if somebody had a nose that narrow, they would probably have some breathing issues. So this one is a little bit of a less European looking nose. It's a little bit wider. We're going to go ahead and change the lips too. This person has more full lips. I'm gonna widen out that jawline a little bit too. There we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make the hairline. Hair is something that you can make in a myriad of different ways, so I'm not gonna put a lot of detail into that yet. Right now I'm gonna kind of narrow in on some features that I haven't fleshed out very much yet, like the eyes. So I'm going to imagine that there's a light source coming from one side, and what that does is that creates a shadow on the side that the light is not coming from. So I'm gonna put some shade on the side of the nose, on the side of the lips, on the corners of the eyes that are not getting light, on that side of the neck. And that just makes the face look more three-dimensional. Then I'm going to continue by darkening up some of those lines that I started, some of the hair. I'm going to blend in all my shading. There we go. Person's starting to come together a little bit. I'm going to continue to add some shadow. If I were looking at a real person, or if I were looking at a real image, I would look for all the places that are almost black, the really dark places where no light is getting to. So in the nostrils, in the corner of the eyes, things like that. And now I'm going to take a micron pen, and I'm going to just add a little bit of detail. It looks like I'm outlining, but I'm actually not. What I'm doing is I'm just showing those little dark areas. So corners of the eyes, nostrils, that tiny little area underneath the ball of the nose where there's a shadow, tiny little areas on the corners of the nose kind of leading to a laugh line, that little recessed area under the lip. You get the idea. And obviously my video is very sped up. You would want to go a lot slower than this. This full sketch took me about 20 minutes. Because of the time lapse, I've condensed it into about 5. Now I'm starting to do just some straight outlining, just to add some definition. With this sketch, I actually think I went a little too hard with the outline, as you'll see in a little bit, but that's okay. Everybody's critical of their own stuff. I hear a lot of people in my class say that they don't really like things that they've done, and here's some examples of some things that I didn't like. I think I did too much shading in that corner of the neck, but that's alright, we move on. Alright, I'm going to use a thicker micron pen. This is the brush pen for the hair. And I'm showing you just some different ways that you can do texture. But like I said before, there are so many different combinations of hair that you can have, and have fun. They don't have to look exactly like this. Alright, I'm going to continue to use that brush pen just to add some darkness. And here's where I was talking about I went too hard with the outline. I feel like this drawing would have been stronger if I would have just not put that outline under the chin and around the neck. But what can you do? Alright, so yeah, I'm just adding a little bit of definition there. I'm actually going to take some pencil and add over that just to sort of add some more gradient and not as hard of a crisp line. That generally is how you can make a face. Again, this is not the only way to make a face, but these are a couple tips that I've found helpful. If it helped you, great. If not, YouTube is full of videos that you can look at that will give you step-by-step instructions. The most important thing with any art, whether you're making faces or not, is just to have fun. Thanks for watching.